Chinese leader Xi Jinping fears losing his grip on power. That's why a new hard fist campaign is his strategy for total domination. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Be sure to like and leave a comment. It really helps us with the algorithm. And make sure you're subscribed, because YouTube has been secretly unsubscribing people. And since YouTube also hasn't been notifying people of new episodes, check back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday for new episodes. Once again, it's time for an episode of everyone's favorite Chinese communist soap opera, General Hostility. Previously on General Hostility. Chinese leader Xi Jinping seems like the indisputable top dog of the Chinese Communist Party. But he's got enemies looking for any chance to take him down. Everything is on the line this year. In a few months, there will be a big meeting of the Chinese Communist Party, and Xi's plan is to declare himself leader for life. But a rival political faction tied to former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin has been trying to stop that from happening. But Xi Jinping has the ultimate plan. He's preparing to fight back with a hard fist. Wow, the special effects for that show are amazing. With the 20th National Party Congress just around the corner, Chinese leader Xi Jinping is trying to tighten his grip because it's been slipping, which is a surprise considering how sticky his hands are from eating all that honey. Besides international backlash against the Chinese regime's increasingly aggressive actions around the world, Xi Jinping is beset by troubles at home. Loads of resentment are building up thanks to his draconian zero-COVID policy, especially after a top official in Beijing said it could last for the next 5 years. Wow, what a destabilizing thing to say right before the party congress. I wonder what that official's motivation could have possibly been. Rumors about Xi have also been spreading on the Chinese internet, like that he had a brain aneurysm. There's also been rumors of a split between Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang. This split is a rumor that's even been picked up in the West. Basically, Xi Jinping is losing the narrative war. That's why Xi is tightening his grip over China's propaganda apparatus. Key positions in several top Communist Party mouthpieces have had some personnel changes in the past few weeks. The recent key personnel reshuffles in the propaganda apparatus appear to be partly aimed at eliminating the Jiang faction's lingering influence. And Xi Jinping has a plan for dealing with all those pesky rumors floating around the Chinese internet. Chinese social media companies are being forced to review every single social media comment. Being forced to look at every single post on social media? Even Satan probably thinks that's too cruel. And you know how a top Beijing official said zero COVID could last up to 5 years? Well, Chinese censors are quickly trying to flush that one down the memory hole. But that's just the beginning. Chinese police are being mobilized for a 100-day hard fist campaign. And I think we can guess who it's going to hammer. More after the break. Welcome back. If you like the show and want to help us continue to expose the Chinese Communist Party, join the China Uncensored 50-cent army. All it takes is as little as $1 per episode on Patreon. Or you can join our exclusive censorship-free social media platform on Locals. Links to both are below. So with the 20th Party Congress right around the corner, this week, Chinese authorities unveiled a plan to maximize the display of police force. They call it a hard fist campaign, which somehow sounds more awful than the sticky fist campaign. Now, officially, it's in response to a graphic viral video of a group of men attacking several women. It was really bad. Basically, a guy tried to hit on a woman, she rejected him, then he and his friends dragged the woman through the door by her hair, smashing her with bottles and chairs, and repeatedly stomping on her head as she lay on the sidewalk, her clothes stained with blood. In response, China's new public security minister, Wang Xiaohong, has announced the 100-day hard fist campaign. The Ministry of Public Security said, "We must use hard fists to protect the legal rights of women, children, the elderly, the disabled, and students with fast, accurate, and fierce measures." Yeah, Violent men in China had better watch out. It's now exclusively the Chinese police's job to knock women and children to the ground, pull them by the hair, and beat them senseless in front of a crowd. Oh, we are so demonetized for showing that. But the Hard Fist campaign is a big deal. It involves linking up China's police and armed police patrols so they can respond to any event in no less than 5 minutes. But as you might have guessed, this Hard Fist campaign isn't about protecting the Chinese people. It's about political infighting in the Chinese Communist Party. You see, Wang Xiaohong is a close ally of Xi Jinping. He was just appointed to the head of the Ministry of Public Security last week. For decades, the Ministry of Public Security had been an important part of former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin's grip on power. Jiang used it to expand his power and influence through his campaign against Falun Gong. That's why the head of the Ministry of Public Security was always a politician, like Zhou Yongkang, the guy who tried to stage a coup against Xi Jinping. Putting politicians in charge of security is like putting a dog in charge of managing a McDonald's. They're totally unqualified, but at least they're loyal. Wang Xiaohong is the first professional police officer to lead the ministry in 24 years. And one of the first things he does is launch a massive police campaign, including night patrols and crackdowns against guns and explosives, right before the party congress? I have a feeling this is about more than just protecting women. Frankly, it's such an insecure display of strength, I'm surprised it doesn't also involve photos of Xi Jinping shirtless on a horse. And now, as a thank you to the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army, fans who support the show, I'll answer one of their questions. Today, we hear from Kenneth Cripps on Patreon. It'll take many years for China to even get close to the capabilities of the USS Nimitz, and especially Ford-class operations. The U.S. Navy has been honing its skills for almost 90 years. That was in response to this recent episode about China's latest and most advanced aircraft carrier, the Type 003 Fujian. So I think in general there are two big mistakes people make when talking about the Chinese Communist Party's military. One is a defeatist attitude. They're too powerful, we could never win, we may as well just give up. The other is assuming the People's Liberation Army is just a paper tiger and is no threat to the US. You shouldn't treat any threat like that. That'd be like finding a cobra in your apartment and one roommate says, "Guess it's time to leave." And the other says, "No way, let's poke it with a pencil, I bet it's harmless." It is true the Fujian is several years away from being fully operational. But the Chinese Navy is a real threat, especially to Taiwan. The Chinese regime is in the middle of an unprecedented military buildup and modernization. That includes frequent training and drills, especially for its Navy. The United States does have more experience operating a blue water Navy. But because of the war on terror and the fighting in the Middle East, for several decades now, the U.S. military has not been focused on its Navy. The Navy has been relegated to supporting ground-based troops. The kind of combat that would be required during the Chinese invasion of Taiwan is frankly something neither China nor the U.S. has had experience with in recent decades. Which is why I always say, by far the best strategy is to deter China from ever launching an invasion in the first place. Or, to continue with that metaphor, Cobra-proof your apartment. Thank you for your support, Kenneth Cripps. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to join the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army, the links are below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.